Good day, my wonderful students. I welcome you to English Studies class this day. Today we have a very important topic before us, and before we start, I want you to get settled, pick up your writing materials, and get ready for the lesson. Have you done that? Alright. Today the topic before us is informal letter. Informal letter. Before we move straight to the topic for today, let's do the correction for the previous assignment. In the previous assignment, you are told to state the features of a formal letter. And these are the features of formal letter: the writer's address, the date, designation and recipient address, the salutation, and the introduction. And also I want you to understand that these features, once they are not there, or once one is missing in your address or in your letter writing, your formal letter writing, just know that that formal letter is not complete. These 5 features are very important, and they have to be there. Your writer's address, don't forget, your punctuation is very important at the end of each line, and then your date, after your date, your full stop. Also the designation and recipient address, very important. The punctuation at the end of each line is very important. Same thing applies to salutation, where you write "Dear Sir" or "Dear Ma." Your punctuation after that is very important. Then your introduction, there is no greeting. And also don't forget your heading, very important. Alright, so today's topic, informal letter. At the end of this class, you are expected to be able to define informal letter, mention the types of informal letter we have, and then state the format of informal letter. And the last one, which is number 4, you should be able to write an informal letter. Alright, so make up your mind to learn something new today. Informal letters. Informal letters are letters written to the writer's friend, written to family or close relatives, and so on. And so, since they are written to close relations, the letters have informal and personal tone. Informal and personal tone. So that's the difference between formal letter and informal letter. Formal letter has a formal tone, while the informal has the informal or personal tone. Alright, so we'll look at the examples of informal letter. A letter to a friend, a letter to parents, and a letter to family relations. Okay, we also have more examples. You can sit down and write them down on your own. Alright, features of informal letter now. The building blocks of informal letters. The first one is the writer's address. In informal letter, we have just only one address, and that is the writer's address. The writer's address is usually in the top corner, and we'll look into it fully. You will understand better. The next one is the date, very important. The introduction, the salutation, opening sentences. Okay. We also have the body of the letter, the conclusion, the subscription, the signature, and the closing. So these features are very important. You cannot do without them in your informal writing. Okay, the first one now, writer's address. Writer's address. The first thing to write is your address, like I've said earlier. As the very first thing you write when you're writing an informal letter, that is the address of the writer, and the address is usually written on the right hand side of the page at the very top. Let's assume this is the page where you want to write. The right hand side in the top corner like this is where we have the writer's address, just like we have in formal letter as well. Okay, the address should be accurate and complete. Accuracy and completeness. It must be accurate and it must be complete. Even when writing to close friends or relatives that know your address very well, you should be able to write your address in an accurate way and a complete manner. And the address must be written so they can reply back to the letter with ease. You know, when the letter is written with accurate and completeness, it will help the reader to reply back to the letter with ease. Alright? Now, if the recipient of the letter is in another country, do not forget to write your country as well in the address. Very, very important. It usually comes before the date. Yes, before the date. Alright, let's move on now. The date now. After your address and this place, then you have your date right below the address. That's where you write the date. Okay? The essence of this date is that it allows the reader to have a reference as to when the address was written. Then he or she can then relate better to the content of the letter. So it's very, very important. Your date is very, very important in your informal letter. The third one is your introduction. Your introduction paragraph sets the tone for the whole letter. Yes, after you are done with your address and your date, we have your introduction. Your introduction. This introduction paragraph sets the tone for the whole letter. It must begin by asking recipients about their well-being, or you may say that you hope the letter find them in good health and great spirits. And the opening of informal letter should be casual and comforting. It must not be formal and direct as in informal letter. So your introduction is starting of your letter. It has to be casual and comforting. Alright. Now the salutation. Actually, this comes before the introduction. Yes. Assuming, let's say this is our letter now. This is your address and this is your date. Your salutation comes right here. Dear Alex, as we have here. You can also use a nickname. Very important. You can use a nickname or first name. You have Dear Alex or Dear Oppie. Dear Mr. Kevin or Dear Kevin. You can see it now. So then after that, you followed by a comma. Okay, so this way your salutation appears. Okay, now if you're writing to your relative, like your mother, father, aunt, uncle, and so on, you may greet them as such. For example, dear mom, dear dad, dear uncle. You can greet them, salute them like that in the starting of your letter, your informal letter. If you're writing to an elderly person, someone you respect greatly, you can address them as Mr. or Mrs. For example, dear Mr. Henry, dear Mr. Ade, dear Mr. Shegun, and so on, like that. Okay, that's that for the salutation. Make sure you note these things down. Look at the way this is written. Capital D, capital A. You're writing the name of a person, it must be in capital letter. Even if it is the nickname, it must be in capital letter. Okay? Alright. You can see it here also, dear mom, the capital initials. And the initials, Mr. it also has the full stop here. Make sure it's very, very important. We have dealt with punctuation marks, and I believe that you know that the full stop must appear in front of this abbreviation. Alright. Opening sentences. That's the fifth one now. This is the part of the letter where you begin to write. It's here your imagination run free. You should allow your imagination to run free. And to get started, your informal letter, to start writing your informal letter, These opening sentences are very, very important. I also refer them back as your introduction. Yes. Some sample opening sentences are included below. Your opening should be casual, like I said earlier in the introduction. Should be casual and not as stiff as it would be if you were writing a professional or formal letter. So in these opening sentences for informal letter, you can begin your writing by asking questions, by greeting. How are you? How have you been? How is life treating you? How are the kids? I hope you are doing well, and so on. Now, note something here in the opening sentences. Here is a question, how are you? So it carries question mark. How have you been? It's a question, it carries question mark. How is life treating you? It carries question mark. How are the kids? It also carries question marks. Now, any other thing coming after this should start with a capital letter. Any word coming after this question mark, you start with a capital letter in your writing. And then now look at the difference. This last one, I hope you are doing well. It is not a question, and so it doesn't carry the question mark. It carries full stop. And so whatever comes after it also will start with what? A capital letter. So always know that when you write like this, I hope all is well. I hope everything is fine with you. I hope there's no problem at home. Things like that, they are not questions, so they don't carry the question marks. Alright? The next one, the body of the letter. The content of your letter should be written in a personal and friendly tone. Yes, personal and friendly tone. You are writing an informal letter, and so it must be in a personal or a friendly tone. However, it is important to adjust your use of language to the person you are writing to. What am I trying to say? A good way of assessing how you should write is to think about how you would have interacted with the person if you are speaking with the person in real life. So the way you write should also reflect the person you're writing to. The person you're writing to is someone you know, and so you write in a tone as if you will have been talking, as if you're talking to him face to face in real life. Okay? So that's how the body of the letter should be. Now, there are some things you need to include in the body of the letter. Subject to include in the body. You state your reason for writing after your opening sentences. How are you? How have you been? How's everything? And you go to the next paragraph. The reason why I'm writing this letter to you is this, and that. So the reason for writing must be there. You expand on what you mentioned in the first paragraph. That's your reason for writing. Expand it. You continue in the first paragraph. So you expand it in the next paragraph. And then you also ask about the person you're writing to. Yes, you ask about the person. That's when you're asking, how are you? How is life? How is everything? You must ask about the person. It's part of the body of the letter. Then make some concluding remarks. If so, all glory be to God. Things like that. Concluding remarks. It has to be there. Then also maybe at the end of the letter, you conclude on what you have been writing. On the maybe what you are expanding, the reason why you're writing. So make a concluding remarks on that. On the last one, you invite the person to write back. I hope to hear from you soon. Things like that. It must be there in the part. It's part of the subject that should be included in the subject of in the body of the letter. Alright? Then the seventh one, conclusion. In a conclusive paragraph, sum up the reason for writing the letter. Like I've said, there must be a conclusion. You conclude everything up. Sum up the reason for writing the letter. That is, you summarize your letter. Say a meaningful and affectionate goodbye. Affectionate goodbye to the reader, and you send regards. Yes, we will see all these examples when we get to where you will see the sampled informal letter. The subscription, that's the last thing there. The recommended subscription for informal letter is yours sincerely, and it ends with a comma. You end it with a comma. Alright? Now, look at this yours sincerely, the subscription. Who can remind us for formal letter? What is our subscription? Yes, you. Correct. Yours faithfully. Yours faithfully. Now, for informal letter, it is not yours faithfully, it is yours sincerely. And so we have the capital Y, you need to note it down, and the small s. Make sure you look into this, very important. Another thing, another mistake we usually make, sincerely is spelled as S-I-N-C-E-R-E-L-Y. Most times some of us write, maybe out of rushing, write Sally. Forget about the E. It's very wrong. Always make sure that you watch out when you're writing your sincerely. Let it be spelled correctly, okay? And it should be in small letter S, capital Y, and then it must be followed by a comma, okay? Now the next one, signature. In terms of signing off, the choice is yours and you have a lot of freedom in this aspect. It's not like a formal letter where you have to write your full name and your signature. So below are some commonly used sign-off that maintains a friendly, informal tone. After you have chosen one that fits the overall tone of your letter, you simply sign your name. These are the examples. Best wishes, best, kindly, kind regards, best regards, lots of love, and so on. Okay? It's not necessary you write yours sincerely most times, so you can sign off with best wishes, kind regards, and so on, and then you put your name. The last one, closing. The closing is where you summarize your letter and say goodbye to the reader. The examples below offer some ideas of what to write in the closing section of your informal letter. Yes. Examples of closing sentences. I am looking forward to seeing you. I can't wait to hear from you. I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. I hope to hear from you soon. Okay? So these are examples of closing sentences before you sign off. Okay? Before you write your best regards. Before you write yours sincerely. Now, this is the sampled informal letter. We can say this is the writer's address. And don't forget, you note my punctuation at the end of each line of the letter. Punctuation is always there. Very, very important. Okay? Dear Moses, you can see my punctuation again. How have you been? See my question mark coming out because it's a question. I hope my letter finds you in best of health and spirits. It is not a question, and so it ends in full stop and continues with capital letter. You note all these things are very, very important. It has been almost a month I transferred to the boarding school. First up, I am very happy in my new school. The classes and dormitories are very spacious. There are well-equipped science laboratories and a library with a great collection of books. The school has amazing sports facilities such as swimming pool, horse riding track, and archery range. I believe my life here will be interesting and enjoyable. Although I have made many new friends, I still miss you and other friends. Please send my regards to your parents. Please send my regards to your parents. Yours sincerely, Wale James. Single as ABC. This is a typical example of informal letter. So you can see the way the Y is written and the way the S is written, and it is followed by a comma before the name. And you can see at the end of every paragraph there is a full stop. Another thing, the paragraphs are well indented. Can you see? They are well indented. So these are the important things you need to watch out for you to have a well written informal letter. Okay? Now note, casual language and short forms like isn't, won't, it, have, they are allowed. You can write it like this, and you can also write it as in is, not, will not, it is, I have. But most times, casual language in short form and short forms are allowed in informal writing, unlike the formal one. So for informal, you can write it like this, you can write like this. Anyhow you want to write it, it's allowed. For further studies, you can contact the New Concept English, that's your English textbook, and also you can click on these links and learn more about informal letters. Here there's a YouTube link here. If you cannot click on it, you can copy it out the exact way it is written here and search for it. Copy it in your web browser, your device, the browser of your device, and then you watch and learn more. Alright, before we go, the assignment for today, you study the sampled formal letter given above. That's the sampled formal letter that you've been given. The sample formal letter here. You study it and submit. You state the features. Very important. State the features of an informal letter. Not format now, the features of an informal letter. You submit your answer to this email. Make sure when you're writing it, there are no mistakes. And you do it faithfully. Alright? Thank you for being part of this class once again. Enjoy the rest of your day.